I want you to remember something. When Cooper Flagg left the court after his 4th game, he had scored just 2 points. By game 10, he was averaging less than 14 a night on 40% shooting. The generational label was already in doubt, and I started to wonder, had the hype gotten to him? But 3 weeks later, he took the court against Giannis, slid into defensive position, and got posterized. The replay ran twice before the broadcast moved on. Welcome to the NBA, right? But one thing stood out to me. Dunked on in the second quarter, Coop still finished with 26 points. 5 months later, he became the youngest player in NBA history to score 50. The very next game, Coop joined Michael Jordan as the only 2 rookies in the last 50 years to score 45 points twice in a season. LeBron's response: Cooper Flagg's game reminds me of me. 2 points then, 51 now. And I think I know exactly what happened in between. Because here's what I keep coming back to. Every time Cooper has been in a situation that should have broken him, it hasn't. Summer League, Game 1 against Bronny James. All eyes were on number 1 pick Cooper Flagg. This was the 4th most watched Summer League game ever. Fans expected a show, and shot after shot rattled out. 5 for 21 shooting, 10 points. Coop would say this was one of the worst games of his life. ESPN was quick to call this an uneven performance, but he kept shooting through every miss. So 1 game later, against number 2 pick Dylan Harper, the words, "They made a mistake," were right there if Coop had another bad night. Same gym, more pressure, Cooper attacked the rim. He dunked in traffic. He shot as if game 1 had never happened. He finished with 31 points. After that game, nobody was asking if Cooper Flagg belonged. But proving you can bounce back in the Summer League is one thing. The NBA is a completely different beast. And in his first NBA game, Coop joined the starting lineup as the Mavericks point guard, a position he had never played before. He was matched up against the Spurs and Wemby, but there was even more pressure. After Luka Doncic had been traded, Dallas fans were no longer just hoping their number 1 pick hit. They were hoping Cooper Flagg replaced a generational star. And with the ultimate challenge in front of him, Coop ran in transition, soared through the air, and almost threw down a jaw-dropping lob. Instead, he found it difficult just to dribble against the Spurs defense. He had multiple turnovers, he couldn't make a shot until the second half. He walked off the court with 10 points in a 33-point loss as Wemby began a run at MVP with 40 and 15. Again, welcome to the NBA. But Coop came back. 18 points in game 2, 22 in game 3, and it's right here where we get the first evidence of how Cooper has turned around his season completely. In one of his last games playing with Anthony Davis, Coop would match up against the Nuggets and Jokic, and he went crazy. Multiple poster dunks, 4 3-pointers, 9 rebounds, 9 assists to go along with 33 points, and he stared down Jokic.
Like the work we never see. Coming towards this guy. And doing work right now. Cooper Flagg again.
Coop led the Mavs to a win after a missed buzzer beater, which was nice. But what was obvious was the point guard experiment was already paying off. Early turnovers in the beginning of the year were just growing pains. Now, Cooper was getting comfortable leading a team and had unlocked a new upside. From this game, Coop has gone on a historic run. Only 3 rookies post-merger have averaged 20 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists per game in their first season. Luka Doncic, Michael Jordan, and Larry Bird. Cooper is set to become 4th on this list. His name continues to pop up with the all-time greats, and we have to remember, Jordan and Bird were much older than Cooper in their rookie seasons. We also need to talk about what makes Coop different than the usual rookie superstar. In his first 41 games, Coop was solid, averaging around 19, 6, and 4. But in his last 25, he's now averaging 25 points with over 7 rebounds and 5 assists per game. All-star level numbers for a player who last summer couldn't dominate Bronny James. And when we see an absurd statistical leap like this in the middle of a season, we have to ask, how is this possible? And that's where I need to introduce us to Cooper Flagg's mindset, a mindset that was built before he ever played a minute in the NBA. Coop grew up hearing his mom's words in his ears. If you're the biggest person in the gym, you need to find a new gym, which meant Cooper was never allowed to just dominate kids his own age. He always played against older and bigger competition, but even against kids 3 years older than him, it was Cooper who walked onto the court with the mindset of the most confident player in the room. When Cooper was just 13, he was already playing pickup against University of Maine players, and he was the best player on the court. Former NBA champion Brian Scalabrine heard this and couldn't believe it. So he invited a 14-year-old Coop to his own pickup game that had pros, washed-up NBA players, and high schoolers. He did this to humble Coop. Instead, he said in Cooper's first game there, Coop dominated and threw down such a crazy dunk that the gym went silent. Scalabrine had played with Hall of Famers, but now watching Cooper Flagg, he couldn't speak because how was a 14-year-old doing this? And so I keep coming back to the word generational. It's been tossed around a lot in recent years, and with Cooper, it was hard to see because Coop doesn't have a defining trait that pops out at us. He doesn't have Zion's freak athleticism or Wemby's height. Only, his mentality resembles what we love in Kobe Bryant. Unfazed, killer confidence that produces results. That is his generational advantage. His self-belief that he's better than anyone he plays. In his first ever high school basketball game, the gym was packed. Cooper had already generated buzz as a local star. People needed to see him play. Coop gave them a chase down block in overtime. Then he drove baseline and dunked with a swagger that was rare for anyone, let alone a 14-year-old. He finished his first game with 35 points, 12 boards, and a win. Then he led his school to a state championship, becoming the first freshman ever to win Maine's Gatorade State Player of the Year. Fast forward to today, and after setting a record for youngest 50-point game, Cooper Flagg is having one of the best rookie seasons we've seen in decades. He's been so great that we need to check where he fits in among the best rookie seasons of all time. And here we have a chart with arguably the 10 greatest rookie seasons we've ever seen. And would you look at that? Cooper Flagg fits right in. The real difference is when it comes to awards. Older players such as Jordan were in the MVP race. Bird was first team All-NBA. Magic won a title and was finals MVP. But if we change gears and look at the best seasons ever by a teenager, it's here where Cooper Flagg has a real argument. Again, a list full of star-studded names, and again, Cooper is near the top, which is actually crazy when we remember that he reclassified in high school a year up and didn't turn 19 years old until December. Cooper has continued to find bigger gyms his entire life, and he keeps showing up with one thought in mind: I am the best player here. He was Gatorade National Player of the Year when he should have been a junior. He was College National Player of the Year at Duke when he should have been in high school. And now he's possibly the Rookie of the Year when he should be in college. Because even with a historic season, Cooper Flagg is not guaranteed to win Rookie of the Year. Because playing for a 43-37 Hornets team, Con Knipple has pushed Cooper all season. And while Coop's base stats are better, Con's shooting efficiency is noticeably ahead of Coop's, and the Hornets are going to be in the play-in game while the Mavs will be in the lottery. Now, should we punish a player for playing on a worse team? If it was the MVP, the case would be there. But the Rookie of the Year is routinely won by guys like Kyrie Irving playing on 21-win teams. Personally, I think the award should go to Coop, even with Con having an incredible year. I think if you put Cooper on a playoff level team, he's impacting the game the same way. And Cooper recently passed LeBron for most 40-point games as a teenager with 4. There is something to be said that Cooper Flagg is the #1 guy on every NBA team's scouting report. Yes, he's not on a good team. He is instead the star defense's game plan for. And against those game plans, Coop has set several records, but his rookie season gets even better the deeper we dig. Because if we line up Cooper Flagg against LeBron James, Luka Doncic, and Kevin Durant, Cooper is right on pace with 3 of the best players we have ever seen. But again, most superstar rookies start the year hot and end the year hot. Cooper was different. So if we look at Coop's last 25 games versus the last 25 games of Bron, Luka, and KD, the generational label for Cooper Flagg seems pretty fitting. This is why LeBron said Cooper's game resembled his. This is why LeBron said Coop was special and that he'd been watching him since his AAU days. Coop had 2 points in Game 4. He's made history at the end of the season. I promised you I'd tell you what changed, and the answer is, after the Anthony Davis trade, Dallas gave Coop the ball and let him go to work. In November, Cooper had just a 22.5 usage percentage and averaged under 18 points per game. That percentage started started to climb when Dallas decided to revolve their offense around Coop. And now in April, his usage is over 38 and he's averaging over 40 points per game. For the season, Cooper is shooting 75% at the rim, but we can see in that Thunder game, the struggles were real. Weak drives to the basket were causing tough attempts. His ball handling wasn't ready to compete at the highest level, and that was causing issues. Plus, Cooper was taking off too far from the rim. His shot also did not fall this game, which didn't help anything, but he also didn't really play with any creativity. In comparison, if we watch the 51-point game, Cooper is scoring from everywhere, and he's just so much more controlled on his drives. Instead of playing like he was against the Thunder, where it was either go to the basket or take a three, his mid-range jumper has come alive. He's comfortable dribbling and initiating the offense. He's even added a step-back three to his shooting package, and when he drives, he's taking off from the right spots, and here we see a throwdown. The difference between then and now is his mindset on and off the court. Cooper has always had the confidence, but the work and the work ethic has shined through. Because at every level of basketball, Cooper Flagg has proven to be generational. He has shown us signs that he is going to be the superstar the Mavericks need in a post-Luka era. And really, all it took for us was a 51-point game to finally realize what we were watching. And there we have it. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, I really think you're going to like the videos on the screen. If you're already subscribed, thank you so much for supporting. You are awesome. We all know it. And as always, have an awesome day and cue that music.